Before we get started here, Justin wants me to clear his name. He was not sleeping. He was not sleeping until noon. He was doing yard work. Not sure if I buy that excuse, but
yes,
it does seem odd that I'll give Justin the benefit of the doubt. And I can't honestly, I'm not mad. I don't actually get mad when I talk shit like that about Justin because Justin does a lot. He's at my beck and call 24 hours a day. The guy does a lot. It is just funny though that anytime we text our intern, like Will or Justin before noon, it's like, well, hopefully they get back to us in a few hours.
Mm-hmm. Which is not good when the show records in the morning. But right. So can't really do much with that. But you guys are recording tonight, am I right? And I hear that the first 30 minutes are going to be on YouTube live.
A little live action, yeah. That should be interesting for the people.
Okay, all right. Is there a sneak preview? Do you know anything that is going to be said, or
I know nothing? But that's just a typical day.
So yes, I was going to say business as usual for you,
yeah, right,
my friend. So, what's going on? I mean, there's
nothing much. You kind of called this, I guess, an emergency trash talk of sorts, because you were like, "Hey, let's do an episode," and then I find
my girlfriend's out of town. I've been wanting to do episode all week. That's why I've been so crazy on Twitter. That's why I've been active.
All right, I hear you bailed on DEC though. I thought you were going to do a Minifan show this week.
DEC. Well, maybe it was just a failure to communicate on my part with DEC.
You crazy kids.
I'll do a Minifan show with DEC. Last time we did DEC and I did a Minifan show, though, there was, let's just say, a lot of drama and blowback and shit that I caught. Rightfully so. I mean, there was some distasteful humor, I would say. Wouldn't you say?
You two wacky characters always ruffle some feathers.
Wearing ladies' glasses right now, too. So
I guess what I want to get into right off the bat has the hit been called off?
What hit?
The hit you put out on me. You wanted me dead. Go ahead, explain yourself.
So you remember back in December, I essentially had a mental breakdown.
I remember.
Went against and I don't even know. Like, I think that there was a disagreement over something, and we got into an argument. I don't quite remember. Maybe you can refresh my memory on it, because I think it was this. This just shows how unimportant this was.
I remember you going off on me on Twitter for some reason.
Yeah, but you were going at Callahan, which I thought that you
said I was being phony for making fun of Jerry, shitting on Jerry.
Well, because Kirk was really against it, and you've always looked at the time. You always looked up to Jerry, and
I like Jerry. I still like Jerry, but there was something with color where he kept taking like digs at me. I forget exactly what it was.
Yeah, I was like, Jerry, why don't you go laugh? Why don't you go laugh at Mike again? Right. Yeah.
Just do your show, Jerry. Enough.
And when I've privately DM'd Callahan in the past about guest hosting, he said he's like, I think he said something. It's like, it's not hard to be better than Mike. I think he said it.
Right. Yeah, right. Oh, you're just gonna laugh at me like Mike? It's like, get over it, shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So I get that, but I think part of the what makes me unique on Twitter is that I overreact to everything. So we got into a fight. I got mad, and then I thought
saying we gotta ruin blind Mike. That seems
no.
harsh.
Let me explain myself first, and I don't think it would be that difficult to ruin you, Mike. I mean, there's not much left to ruin, but
right.
We got into a fight, and then next thing I know, I am removed from the show account. At the time, I used to be able to tweet from the KMS show account.
Yeah.
And I'm gone. I'm off of it all of a sudden. And I was fucking pissed at you because I love the show. I had been on the show. I'd been a part of the show. So I really, so that really upset me. And I thought that because it happened right after we were clapping back at each other with the Callahan thing. I'm like, this motherfucker went in and removed my access to the show account. Fuck him.
I think Steve astutely saw a man on the brink of insanity and said, we probably don't want to give this guy access to our fucking Twitter account.
I looking back on that, I would say that's the right decision. Because there's a lot of powerful things that you could do with that account. So I understand that.
Well, what do you mean? I guess you got to explain to me what you mean by ruin, or we got to kill blind Mike, because that seems a little emergency to me.
Oh, no. Well, what are we going to do? Dox you, get you fired? No,
I don't know. I don't know what you meant.
No, just like fucking just tweet like shit at you. Just like the same way that people go at me, tweeting at me, calling me a fat idiot or like fucking moron. That's all. That's all. I just wanted people to fucking tweet at you and just give you a little bit of shit. I don't know.
I think you were looking for some real dirt, but here's where you get off scot-free.
Okay, I've gone through your tweets, my friend. We've gone through
Not
your old tweets, and well, there are some that, and in fact, when I brought up, if I wanted to cancel Blind Mike, I think that first of all, there's a lot of tweets that I could have dug up from back in, let's say circa 2011 that maybe a little bit dicey. Oh yeah.
Here's where you get off scot free. Is I asked the World War II Felger guy, I asked those guys, and they didn't remember what the context was. I asked them for the context; they didn't remember. So that's where I can't argue anything you're saying, because I think if they had some good dirt on you, they would have given it to me.
Here's the context: is that those guys? Well, I don't want to speak for Felger, but one of the other ones definitely does not like you.
Doesn't like me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So they've always said when we do shows together, well, fuck Mike, whatever. They just don't like you. It's fine. You're just not for them.
Right.
And I've always defended you. And at that time, that's always been, behind the scenes, that's always been a point. And I know that, whatever, I'm sharing information as if they have a leg to stand on, since they've been sharing all my DMs to them. But behind the scenes, they never have liked you, and I've always.
I didn't know that.
No, and
I always seemed friendly.
Some of them. I want to classify. I don't know about Felger. I don't remember. I don't know about the BJBSJ guy, but a couple of the other ones I know are not big fans of yours. Huh. And so I've always defended you privately to them, and then at that point I was like, fuck it, unleash the hounds, go after him. That was the extent of it. It was not like, let's bring up Mike's old shit and try and get him canceled. Because if we wanted to do that, we could certainly. I'm sure that you've had some.
I say do it. Get me canceled. End this misery. Put me out of my misery. For Christ.
Honestly, I think that you would probably like being canceled.
Yeah, right. It'd be cool. I could fight again. See, this is the PC bullshit that I've been talking about.
You and Shane Gillis would finally have something in common.
Exactly right.
Finally.
So, what's your beef with these gentlemen? Why are these two sides at war now?
Well, I have brokered a peace agreement with Red, with KMS Reddit and Phil, and Barstool Advisor, and all the Mincel guys. So I've got to say, I've been a big Mincel Intel guy from day one. I've never said anything otherwise. So those guys, great friends of mine, in fact, and I think Red's a really good guy. I've always liked Red. Been a big Red guy. So I'd make it'd be hard pressed to find anything that I've ever said negative against those guys.
Very nice guy. My problem with Red, I guess, is that he's always very nice to me, but then people tell me that he talks shit about me elsewhere. So I don't know what to make of it.
I think the biggest issue with the KMS world is that there's not a clear delineation between Twitter is Twitter and the show is the show and real life is real life.
Right.
And things start to get because the show is one of the few shows that has so much interaction. I think that's what really drives maybe crazy people to it, is that they know that if they interact hard enough and tweet enough and get involved enough, they'll be talked about, their calls will be taken, they'll be mentioned. They can be part of it. So that attracts a lot of talented people, and it attracts a lot of crazy people. And I think that is, that's where we get into a lot of trouble, where like the purpose of Twitter and the fun of Twitter is that you can shit talk people, you can go at people, you can bust balls and all that stuff. But then when it bleeds into real life, things get more complicated. So you've got accounts on Twitter that are busting you and trolling you, but then they see you in Madawaska and they know you in real life. And it just becomes this weird sort of dynamic where you can't separate one from the other, where it's like, well, I said this on Twitter and I wasn't really being serious, but it's being read this way. So I think that's kind of more the confusion, where there's a lot of shit talk that happens. But at the end of the day, if we were all together, I feel like there wouldn't be any drama if we were all in the same place.
Sure. We'd all just be buddies.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know? Do you not?
No, I do. I kind of understand what you're saying. There is a lot of, some of it is just because that happens with me. I think that's why I'm not allowed to mention certain people, because I'm bad at that, where I say things in certain contexts and I assume everyone knows I'm joking or understands my thought process, but it doesn't come off that way. Sure.
No, and I have the same, I fall into the same camp. And listen, I didn't want, I apologize I apologize for trying to ruin you. I did a really bad job of ruining you.
That's the other thing, is that if it happened in December, it didn't work. So I can't be that mad at you.
No, well, actually, so according to some people, I do have the power to influence. And can I just say this?
Yes.
Because there's only a couple people that believe this. If you believe that I am powerful enough to influence Kirk Minahan to poison his mind against people, then you really should stop listening to the fucking show, because you know nothing about fucking Kirk.
Oh, you're why he thinks I'm not funny. I didn't realize.
That's honestly an insult to Kirk. If you think Kirk is that weak-minded, that fucking Mark Hannon's balls, John in Pennsylvania, is going to convince him that XYZ account is a piece of shit and should be excommunicado, fucking stop listening to the show. We're done. The communication's over. You clearly don't know anything about Kirk. You clearly don't like the show. If you think that I have that much power, that DEC and I could poison a Kirk against people is insane. It's fucking insanity. Is it not?
Yeah, of course it is. But people get very conspiratorial and they get wrapped up in their own world. And so you're going to war with some other gentleman now.
Who? What other gentlemen?
I don't. Justin told me those guys, and that Kelleher's back in your life for some reason.
Well, he actually. When I logged into my account, I had to reset my password. So I logged into my email that I use for this account,
Right.
and somehow Kelleher got a hold of that email address and emailed me. Ha 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 ha.
Okay.
I open up my email and I look back in Thursday. It's just ha 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 ha. Just going on and on forever.
So he's hacking you.
No. I think he just got my email somehow, which is concerning. I think. So I changed my password and changed the email again. So.
So this is the bizarre, and maybe this goes to what you were saying, but this is the bizarre thing about you, is that where you look at you and sometimes think this guy's breaking down or he's going to war with these people, and then you talk to you and it's like, oh well, he's calm. He seems fine. So I don't know who the real John is.
No, I react. I get and Twitter. What I love about Twitter is that you can react in your most visceral, raw, raw and emotive way. You can just, if you're just pissed off, just fucking that's how I view it. And that's what I had success on with Twitter from early on, is that I would just have extreme reactions to shit and, just try. And that I think has gotten me into a lot of trouble too. Is because I don't, when this thing first started, I was defending Blobe against Phil, and I did zero research on it. I just literally went out and just sent off a tweet knowing fucking nothing about any of the context.
Right.
The same shit could be said about this whole thing with the BJBSJ guys, where they're just, at the end of the day, this comes down to the fact that they disagree with my opinion on COVID. And, and for some reason that has been the impetus to go at me. And, I did have some really shit tweets where I'm like, oh, COVID's the best thing ever. It's a make-believe disease where young people are immune. I can get cheap flights and get into all the exclusive restaurants. Yeah, that's a cunty thing to say. That's a shit thing to say. Yeah. It was a joke. It was a joke. But
even if you were being serious, why does that make them want to go after you? That can't be the only reason.
I think that's it. I can't think of another reason. That's literally it. That's what this has come down to, is that,
it seemed like the tone was like you were using them to go after other people, and they had enough of your bullshit.
But I've worked with them to go after their enemies in the past.
Right.
Felger and I went after Luke O'Neill together. We were sharing information, DMing each other about it. Like that was a team effort. He and I. He was. Before, and I know that people are going to bring always laugh and make it a joke, but me and World War II Felger started the Albright thing, right? Like that was MHB, and obviously I turned out to embarrass myself on that yet again. We don't have to go there, but. But that again, we worked together on that one. I've worked with those guys sharing information about what I was hearing from people about ratings at EEI, confirming the ratings that they've seen. I've got back. So that the fact that the idea that I was using them and they never got anything in return out of me is I just don't buy that argument. I think that was I a dick in the way that I was making jokes and making light of the whole COVID thing? Sure. And if you got family that is more predisposed to COVID, that could be that is at higher risk for it. Absolutely, I get why you'd be pissed off at my take. But that doesn't
seem like they don't seem like humorless assholes. Like why would they be mad at just jokes?
Yeah, but I think
or even opinions. Why would they be mad at opinions? Who gives a shit?
What those guys excel at they excel at. They're very good at finding something and picking at it and going and kind of just trolling it over and over and over again. I mean, that's what they've done with me. That's what they've done with reporters in the past, with Reamer, with what have you. You know, that's been kind of the norm for them, and they've excelled at it. And they're funny. They have good information. It's just I guess I don't understand quite why, you know, my opinion on having, you know, on the pandemic has warranted this sort of reaction. But
that's why I'm saying there's got to be more to it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
If it is that news,
that you'd have this relationship with them and they would just turn on you because they don't like your COVID opinion.
It wasn't really that relation. I just don't think that they like me mouthing off and, you know, coming across like a you know, a fuckboy asshole sort of thing. Like I just don't think they like that persona. They think that I'm coming across like this, and I do come across like an asshole on Twitter a lot of the times,
sure.
which is fine. But again, it's Twitter. I guess that's my view of it, is like, let Twitter be Twitter. Don't go into somebody's personal shit. You know, can I read you something that was sent to me?
Sure.
Okay. So, you know, when I get messages like this that are sent to me from people, it just concerns me. And I don't know who these people are, but it's just very concerning.
Now, before you read this, is this going to be something where you know that people are going to get mad at this? Like, is this you being an asshole right before our eyes?
No, because this is information that I've shared with the people that I questioned what was going on with it. They have no idea. So this information goes back just to one person. So, you know, it was saying that this was sent to me, that they're in possession of material, and this isn't BJBSJ. I just want to clarify that. This isn't Felger. These are people that may or may not have used to be affiliated with the show, said that we have information in possession of material which, if released, will ruin not only the character of MHB in the real world, but ruin the real life of John Devon, the person in the real world.
Ooh.
We have been in possession for material for weeks for reasons that are obvious. I have not been read in Nature for the materials for fear I would release. However, it has been described to me as, quote, humiliating and, quote, disgusting.
So they're threatening you. Basically, they're pulling the old MHB. They're saying, let's kill this guy.
Again, this is not Felger. It's not BJBSJ. This is not anybody associated with those guys. Okay. I have no beef with those guys.
So what's the dirt? What's the dirt on you?
So I just wanted to, you know, come here and set the record straight, I guess.
Please.
So I just want to let everybody know. I don't really know how to say this, but so it's just really tough, Mike.
Go for it. We're all friends here.
It's really tough.
I smell a bit coming. I say we just get to it, for Christ's sake.
No, I think we're good. We don't have to go into it.
What were you going to say?
No, we don't have to go into it. It's fine.
What do you mean? You can't do this whole setup and then not say it?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
What's fine? Now I'm intrigued.
So no, the reality is I was just gonna say that they maybe they found more poetry. Maybe they found private pictures.
It wouldn't be that though. You know, unless they're just fucking around.
Who knows? Who honestly knows? I just want to say that.
Now I'm very
There was a time in college that I did a series of tasteful nudes. And these may or may not have been done for, you know, a liberal arts project. And perhaps they've found those images. That's the only thing I could think of.
Oh, is that true? Are you fucking around? Or?
So I would say that perhaps they've come into possession of such images.
Really? That'd be hilarious. I say you just let him post them.
Should I just post them to my
just post them yourself. Yeah, I think that's funny. the George Costanza pose.
They literally are.
The timeless art of seduction.
I think they're tasteful, in my opinion. You know, but listen, I just gotta say, it's in some states it may be classified as revenge porn. But
did you actually do that? What possible class would that be for?
I mean, at Liberty University, no less. You know. So, by the way, I mean, Jerry Jr. has turned into a complete asshole. He's. I almost would say that I'm a little bit ashamed to have gone there. But who
is this now?
Who do you not? Jerry Falwell Jr. Are you familiar with Liberty?
Oh, no, I mean, I know that name, but not really.
Yeah, my alma mater, Jerry Falwell Sr. was infamously, who was dead before I went there. Thankfully, R.I.P. He died eating Chick-fil-A. I'm actually not joking about that.
Poetic.
He had a heart attack eating Chick-fil-A. Fat fuck. I know, which Chick-fil-A is the best. And his son took over, and his son was always this mild-mannered guy, but now he's just being a total ass. Like he's literally turned the university into a joke. All the professors that I liked and were my favorite professors have quit. He is really, really doubled down on the political nature of things. He's just turned it into a shit show. Which is
they got rid of John's favorite professors. What a mess it must be over there. It sounds like they're in shambles.
It is. It's
all my favorite professors are gone.
All my favorite professors are gone. I still keep in contact with my professors.
No,
yes, I do.
Oh,
yes,
what a
I do.
douchebag. In
yes,
what
I do.
context?
The wonderful old lady that did the photography class that took the nudes. We still text every day.
Right, of course. Do you actually talk to your college professors?
Of course I do, yeah.
Why are you saying of course? I don't think anyone does that.
You don't talk to your professor? I text my professors all the time.
About what?
About things in the news, things every day, things,
What?
Absolutely. Why is that weird?
So you just text your professor like, "Oh, you see this stuff in Minnesota? Crazy, huh?"
Yeah. Or hey,
they say, "Leave me alone. Grow up. You've graduated. Leave me be."
No, I think they enjoy it.
I find that hard to believe.
No, one of my professors is he was, I think at the time he was like 31 when I was in school. So now he's not that much older than me. I mean, now he's in his 40s, but
10 years older than you.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's not that weird, right?
It's pretty weird. I'm not even talking about the age.
Kirk is like 20 years older than you.
Again, I'm not talking about the age. First of all, Kirk and I never text. But also, the age is not what I'm talking about. It's just that you kept this personal relationship with someone that was teaching you philosophy for some reason.
Well, philosophy is a very, complex.
How did you get their number originally?
They would give it out. They like text me if you're running late or whatever. When I used to teach,
and you took that to mean I'll text you if I'm running late, or just want to know what you're having for lunch. What are you watching on the tube later?
I was sending them live updates of the protests in Philadelphia yesterday. I thought that they would appreciate that.
They've got to be like, this fucking guy.
Like, you're really making me question this.
He was an average student. He won't leave me alone. I don't understand.
No, I graduated. I graduated magna cum laude. Actually, summa cum laude.
That's why you have such a nice house now.
3.89.
Oh well, they must want to talk to you then.
GPA,
Pardon me, I didn't realize.
The one C that I got was in this history class, with this professor, and he was a total asshole. And he got fired from Liberty for having sex with a student.
Oh,
which is
him about.
Apparently, yeah. Well, he was actually, but unfortunately, the student he was having sex with was a man who was also on the football team. That's got to be a no-no there, huh? Also on the football team. And it was so anyway, I think I can just send him a quick text real quick.
It's very saucy. Yeah, text him. Get him on the podcast. Have a nice chat.
So that C, I think we can redact that C. That class shouldn't even count. It should be struck from the permanent record. Fucking pedophile.
Any other any of your college days you want to get out there on the table?
Sure. So the other thing is that we had a Fap Wall.
Okay.
So what a Fap Wall is,
I can imagine.
Because porn, you're not supposed to look at porn on campus at Liberty. So yeah, you're not. Porn's illegal, and so is alcohol.
Do they regulate that?
Smoking.
Like, are porn sites blocked?
Or
is it just suggested?
Porn sites are blocked. If you go to Google Image and type in boobs, which believe me, I've done multiple times. I did that this morning. You won't be able to find
30-year-old man for Christ's sake.
You would have to. I'm not 30. I'm 29. you would have to go into you'd have to do. There was a couple proxy servers. This was even before I think VPNs were big, because this was back in 2008, 2009. So we would have to get real creative with how to sneak in contraband. A lot of USB drives were shared. with sticky hands.
What a miserable place. Why did you go to this college?
I got a good scholarship. And, I went to a Christian high school. My parents wanted me to go to a Christian school. So
Are you a religious kid?
Oh, yeah. I still think I'm religious now, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I go to church.
You do?
And Steve Robinson and I are actually extremely similar in terms of our beliefs. Like we were texting about pre-tribulation versus post-tribulation views on the rapture and Revelation, the book of Revelation. There are some people that believe that we're actually in the end times right now, which is why there's so much civil unrest happening.
Yes, I'd love to be a fly on the wall for these fucking text exchanges. Your professors and Steve Robinson, your phone is just a wealth of fascinating topics.
In some cases, I actually three-way in some of my professors. Somehow Steve already had the number of the professor that was fucking the football player. But
that's great. I would like to see, you know what I'd like to see on the YouTube network now is just a highbrow intellectual conversation with you, Steve, and your favorite professor, where you guys are just talking high society.
Okay, so it's going to be... okay. Well, so Dr.
Talk about the theater, fine wines.
We'll get Dr. Smith and Dr. Curtis, and they'll come and join us, and we'll talk about I don't know, Kantian ethics or whatever the case may be. Anyway, back to the Fap Wall.
Yes. Oh yeah, please.
First of all, we had prayer meetings every week. We had you have to have a small group meeting every week. You get together and you have you pray, and you have to confess if you've sinned or watched porn, things of that nature. If you did watch porn, or even masturbated, which was illegal. But you could tell because guys would go into the bathroom. My roommate, JP, he would go into the bathroom and masturbate over the stall.
That's classic JP.
Classic
always
JP.
Up to some hijinks.
Yes, classic JP. He now I think is he's like a manager over at what's the buffet in fucking Ohio?
How the hell would I know?
Bob's. No, not Bob's.
Is this some fat? Is that what you're saying?
Justin, do you know?
The buffet in Ohio.
It's not Jimmy John's. It's something. It's like a fucking buffet. Who the fat MHB? He'll tweet it out later. Anyway, if you jerked off, we had a wall in the hall, and you had to go and your name, and you had to go like check a little swipe, put a check next to your name if you jacked off that day.
Okay.
And it was the honest
normal.
So we call it the Fap Wall. Right. So, I mean, some of the things, and let me just say, Jake, can I tell you one JP story real quick?
This is a bizarre college experience, but yeah, please.
So JP was he was a pastoral leadership student.
Sure.
Just the horniest, freakiest motherfucker.
Aren't they all? It's weird how they all flock to that profession.
JP, for some reason, wouldn't. So this was actually he was my roommate sophomore year, and we had found a way to get around the firewall protection. I think that somebody had like a hotspot on the hall, so that's how people could watch porn.
Okay.
He'd like to jerk off while we were in the room, like classic Kirk Minahan style, right? Now it's okay. I would steal from him too, just like Kirk. I would actually. I took his money on multiple occasions. Mostly just quarters for the laundry. He never had any fucking quarters. I would use it to go get snacks.
Just a couple of crazy college guys. I understand.
I wake up in the middle of the night because he'd keep the lights on to study because he was an inconsiderate fucking asshole.
We're turning on JP now. I didn't see this coming.
Probably is a pastor somewhere. He's a piece of shit. Right. And so I would make a little tent, and it was also the masturbation tent. I had the bottom bunk in the college dorm, so I'd put blankets all around it. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and the thing with JP was when he masturbated, he would masturbate completely naked. Sure. He was a total full nude. Costanza style, right? You got to take the shirt and the pants off. So
right.
He's jerking off. Lights are fucking on, and it's like mom son fucking incest porn sort of shit, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like this motherfucker. So I just decided I'm gonna fuck with him. So I do a really good Smeagol impression.
I've heard, yes.
And he was very much into like spiritual warfare. So he was of the mind, he believed that angels and demons were at war and that there was this spiritual domain where you're being oppressed by demons and things like that. He was very big into demonic possession. So I wake up and I start turning in my bed and I'm going, rah, rah! And he gets up. And he's fucking naked. He's naked, mind you. I lay back down. He walks over and he pulls back my little fucking blanket. for my little teepee tent over there.
Okay.
And he looks in, and I'm just closing my eyes. Mind you, his fucking dick is erect, pointed at me. Puts it down. Motherfucker goes back. Clicks play again. Watching porn again. Goes back to jerking off.
You got to finish.
He's jerking off. I do it again. And he comes back over. And he like looks over. John? I'm just laying silent. Goes back again. Hits play again. And finally I'm like, that's fucking it. That's fucking it.
Boy.
I sit up in my bed and I go, I pull down the blanket on the side of the bunk bed. Mm-hmm. And I look up and I say, my eyes are closed. And I go, we know what you did. We know what you did. And he comes over to me. I swear to fucking God, he's pointing at me with 3 fucking fingers with his fucking dick and both his hands and goes, right. I rebuke you, Satan, in the name of Jesus.
This is a bizarre scene.
And I just start fucking laughing. I'm like, you're such an asshole. Like, what is wrong with you, JP? Like, put some pants on, dude. What are you fucking doing right now?
Sounds like you guys had some wacky times out at Liberty.
Oh, yeah. So, needless to say, that was fun.
Right. So you think that's the dirt they have on you, maybe?
So, I can perhaps...
They found JP, perhaps.
Oh, God.
So to clarify,
you did find JP.
So to clarify, you're not trying to ruin my life.
No. I think is that where we're still on? Yes, yeah. To clarify, I'm not trying to ruin your life.
All right. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I don't know if I buy it. I think you're coming after me with guns blazing.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I do too. Well, can I tell you? This all goes back to the fact that I'm jealous because I'd rather be doing the show than which is honestly true. Did you see John from Scranton's tweet that he would quit his job and he makes good money. His parents are rich. Mm-hmm. He'd quit his job and he would go and move and work for the show. I think that's not a bad. You guys should take John up on that.
Has it been offered to him? I didn't realize. I
think he just offered it himself. I think he just. Nice, it is very nice of him. Yes. Yeah. So.
There's a lot of that going around where I don't know if it's people that just want to be on the show or like it's weird. There are a lot of people that talk about the show that I'm not sure if they listen to the show or I'm not sure if they get the show. It's very strange. It's strange to have anyone. I'll lump you into the mix, but it's strange to have anyone threatening to go after people. It seems weird that there are people who their instinct is to dox people or ruin their lives in some way when you're rallying around a guy who that's what he went through with Bob Murchison. That's what he fought against for so long.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, I got bored. I wasn't listening to you. I'm so
mean. You're so mean to me when we do this podcast.
I love you.
We enjoy each other.
I do. I love you. We've hung out together in real life.
That's true.
Multiple times.
Real life buddies. Just like you and JP.
And just like me and JP, you have pointed at me with your erect penis.
That's absolutely true.
It's so true.
I would say to people, if you can find these tasteful nudes of the great John Devon, make sure you send those my way.
Yeah, listen.
I'll get personal use out of them, and then I'll post them.
I might just post them myself, to be totally frank with you.
I think you should. It's better to get that poison out,
Intern Justin in the private chat, Judas and Jesus hung out in real life too, FYI. He's got a point.
What's happening?
Intern Justin, he just said that Judas and Jesus hung out in real life too, FYI. The fact that you and I have hung out in real life.
That's true.
Ultimately, it means nothing.
I didn't know Justin was so religious. He knows
I would probably sell you to the Romans for a bag of silver, though.
I don't know if I'm worth it.
I don't know.
I think I would take that return because I don't know if you're getting that anywhere else.
Here's a bucket of bolts and nuts.
Yeah, right. All right, pal.
All right, man. I appreciate it. This was fun. This was actually like a very lighthearted. We didn't talk about fucking Corona. We didn't talk about the fact that cities are burning down. This was just a fun. I feel like this was a fun podcast.
It's always fun. Now it'll be interesting when we do the podcast after they say, "Hey, here's what that asshole was actually saying. Here's all the information he wants to dox you with." But
no, that was the extent of it. I think I just literally wanted them to tweet at you and make your life miserable because they're very good at tweeting at somebody every single like look at Reamer. He's been getting trolled by them, rightfully so, in my opinion. I think Reamer's a little bit of a snake for years. Right. So yeah,
they did some stuff with Reamer I Didn't they get him fired or something? Didn't they
I
pull up
hadn't-
old
no.
tweets about Asian people or something? I don't love that.
I hadn't heard that. No, I have no idea.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not those guys.
Maybe.
I thought someone did something like that to
Well, a
Reamer.
guy like Reamer is going to have a lot of enemies. I don't know. I don't think the BJBSJ guys would do that to somebody in real life.
I shouldn't say that then. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that they hate. I know they hate him, but I don't know. I have no idea if they did that or not. But who knows? I mean,
All right.
I mean, hey, if Reamer got fired for tweets though, that's the ultimate irony because that little shit will bring up somebody's old tweets and call them racist in a second. Wouldn't he?
Will he? Does he do that?
He has. He's done it in the past. He absolutely has done it.
Because that's weird to do for a guy like Reamer when he's been in trouble for jokes and things like that.
I guess
find that
he did it
unusual.
before the Brady thing, though. I feel like he used to do it. He used to be a defender of that sort of stuff.
He learned his lesson. He's just a boy, you know.
God, I haven't thought about Reamer in a while. Is he still on the Callahan show?
As far as I know.
Oh, that's got to be sad. That's got to be just
Well,
so sad. Did you hear, by the way, what are they? They've just passed 2 million views. So 2 Kirk Minahan episodes.
Oh, good.
Since their podcast's existence.
Congratulations to them.
Yeah.
They're getting to Tom Hartman level numbers.
They are Thumb Hartman. What a douche. I was trying to get through.
It's tough to get through.
It's tough to get through.
Yeah, he gets some calls.
And
it's
then
funny when he stopped taking our call, like the Minifan calls.
Mhm.
You just heard, "Oh, hello, Tom." It's just the fucking elderly people, but
No,
that's
you
his
gotta know
audience.
your
I
demo.
guess he's got a decent amount.
And you know what? They're the ones that need the $50 masks the most. I'd
Yeah.
say.
I think I'll be a World King level member soon. I enjoyed it.
we should have
All
put
right.
we were ahead. All right.
Yeah, we should have.
All right, man.
I'll talk to
see
you
ya.
soon, buddy.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye.